In this video, I just wanted to give you a quick recap of the Elementor roadmap video. Basically, I'm just going to grab that 2 or 3 minute video and let's talk about the different features, what kind of AI assisting options we might get in Elementor pretty soon. And there will be 2 big questions at the very end. I'm just going to guess what it is going to be. So I'm definitely curious about your opinion about that. So let's go to my screen share. Let's see the different options that we're going to be able to use pretty soon and what the 2 questions are at the end. Before we get started, this is something quite important. Elementor is not the first to use any kind of ChatGPT or any kind of related AI assistant in their plugin. I mean, there are different plugins for WordPress, for Gutenberg, for SEO, and even for Elementor as some kind of add-on. So we already have this kind of technology, but not built into Elementor core. Now, at this very moment, we only have a few minutes of showcase of what kind of features we're going to have. So I'm just going to switch over to my screen share and we're going to watch this video together. I mean, it's only about 2 minutes long, so it will be relatively easy, but we can definitely see what kind of options we have. So at the very first option will be a title block or widget, and we're going to get a prompt on write us a few word title for our website and how easy it is going to be. Now in the next case, what we want is the text editor widget, and this will be a bit interesting because in our case, in this case, there will be a prompt to give us a short description of the text, and as you can see, there will be some predefined prompts to help us on the journey to create better content. In this case, the description is way too long, so we have a predefined prompt to make it shorter, and the AI can rewrite that description to be a little bit shorter in our case. Now the next one is once again a title, but this in this instance, let's just wait a second. Let's do it with the second one. Write with AI, and yeah, we have 2 more drop downs under the prompt, the predefined prompt, and you can see that there is a change tone and the translate to. So in case if you don't know this as of yet, if you're using ChatGPT or any kind of AI content assistant, you can define the different tones that you would like to use. So you can go with a very professional, a bit familiar, family friendly, or something easygoing, and all sorts of different tones that you can choose on how to write or how the AI should sound depending who you're targeting with your websites. So that is one thing. And the other drop down is the translated to, which is basically, as you can see, we have a pretty long scroll bar or scroll options. So there are definitely quite a few languages, and just an interesting option. My main language is Hungarian, and even with DeepL, even with AI assistant, there are some mistakes from time to time to translate anything automatically to Hungarian. So just be careful and make sure that you're actually double checking what the translation is going to spit out. AI translations are actually very, very good. So that is amazing compared to what we had a couple of years prior. But just to make sure, you should definitely ask for someone to proofread whatever you're doing before you go live with that website. So we have translation, we have tone, and other than that, in our case, this is another example of what we can do with this. Let's say we have a service with a description, and as you can see by default, if you have content there already, that was something that they were showing before as well. the actual content that you made previously is popping up as default content. Now in this case, what we're going to see is that we can ask the AI assistant to make the original content shorter or longer, or simplify it, fix the spelling and grammar issues. That is actually quite important, because on professional websites we should definitely double check for different spelling and grammar issues, especially if English or the other chosen language is not our first language. That's just a good thing to definitely double check. But the next option will be the one that I'm definitely interested in. And the reason for that is we have the content generation assistant, but something that is quite important with my WordPress and Elementor courses, something that is a always upcoming question is, for the next step, should I learn PHP, should I learn CSS, should I learn JavaScript, and so on. And basically for beginners, CSS is usually an issue, and it is relatively easy to fix now. Of course, there are different plugins that you can use to modify the CSS and generate a CSS code for yourself. But in this case, we have a WooCommerce product loop, or something that I'm guessing, yes, product. And as you can see with the custom CSS part, we have the code with AI option there. And as you can see, the prompt for the image, upon hover, change the filter from grayscale to full color and border radius from 0 to 50% with a smooth transition effect. Now that's something that you would definitely need to look into if you wish to write that code as a beginner. But in this case, it will only take 2 or 3 seconds, and there is your code, and it is working out of the box. Now, something that I'm definitely interested in is usually when you're working with code, and this part is for beginners. Usually when you're working with code, you need to learn about different, for example, CSS classes and so on, just to be able to target the specific item that you're looking for. So in this case, we have the product image. Let me just go back to the screen share. So we have the product, in that the actual image is being called upon. I'm just trying to be beginner friendly. And that is something that it is important, because when you're writing the CSS code, you can mess it up, and depending on your theme, your different plugins, and what kind of types of add-ons you're actually using, they can mix up, and you might change the style for something else, and it can be a headache. Now, something that I'm definitely interested in is to know how this part of Elementor is going to be built, because if we can target every single little item, just as you were able to see when the default content was popping up as default, in this case we have the product image for the CSS code by default. So I'm just guessing, and this is just a guess, that they made sure that it is beginner friendly as well, or at least professional friendly enough that it makes your life easier, that you don't have to find the actual target for yourself. It will know exactly what you're trying to do based on the widget where you're at and trying to generate content for. So based on the different prompts and whatsoever, they should change depending on the content where we are. So that is for the custom CSS option. Once again, we have another custom CSS example. Now, in this case, once again, we are just changing the effect for those text. But something that is more interesting will be up next, and in this case we are using the HTML block. And if you check for the different prompts that we have, Basically, we can go with a Google Analytics event fired on every button element click, assuming Google Analytics was loaded, iframe code to embed a Spotify widget, write an embed code for Google Analytics, HTML, Facebook pixel, HTML snippet, and so on. So basically, as far as I can understand, and there is another thing that we are going to talk about in a moment, is they definitely try to make life easier with the frequently asked prompt already available for us. So for example, if you want to embed a code, there is an example for the prompt. If you want to add Google Analytics or Facebook pixel to your specific section, I mean, not just on the website, you might be working in your footer, in your header or whatsoever. So you might want to use those for adding your Facebook pixel. But anyhow, they are definitely trying to make sure that we can use the specific prompts that are mostly asked for. And that's something that is just, you know, it is something that is extremely, extremely useful, especially for beginners. But let's just carry on with what is happening. So in this case, we are just changing the ID, and as soon as we hit the generate code, it will create our Spotify embed code for that list. Now there is one more thing that I want to show, and this is question number 1, is that as soon as we have the image block in place, now that's the interesting part. So question number 1 is, it is saying for the image, the AI assistant is coming soon. Once again, for beginners, AI assistant is not only for generating written content, it can generate so many different things. It can even edit videos, it can generate 3D architectural designs. So there are many, many different applications. And for example, one of these is to generate images based on your prompt and what kind of information you provide, and it will generate images for you. Now in this case, it says coming soon, so they are definitely not showing us what is there. But something that is even more important than guessing what kind of information we are going to get is that upgrade button up there. Now, just something quite interesting. That upgrade button is different compared to the one that we can see here. So definitely the button was changed between the different sets of when they were shooting the actual video or screen recording, or something changed in the middle. I don't know. But the most important question is, will this be a paid gig? If yes, what will we get for free? And I will definitely be careful with the for free part. I mean, we have the scenario where we might have this free to use option in Elementor free, or is the free prompt limit is added to Elementor Pro only, or some kind of whatever different as an additional add-on or a different service. I don't know. And I would definitely love to find that out. But even then, there is no information about the different limitations, like how many prompts we can use on a daily basis for free, what will be the price for the upgrade, is the upgrade, so for example, if we have AI Assistant free in Elementor free, then will we get that upgrade button will vanish as soon as we upgrade to Elementor Pro? Will there be a prompt limitation even on Elementor Pro? So there are many, many different options of how this can be played out, and I'm definitely interested in that. And something that I'm even more interested in is your opinion. So if you think this is good, if you think this is bad, what is your guess? Are we going to get this in Elementor Free, in Elementor Pro? What kind of pricing would you have in mind? Make sure to leave a comment below the video, and let's have a conversation about this topic. So anyways, if you found this video useful, if you found anything useful on my channel, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more smart videos on this channel. Until the next time, have an awesome day and see you next time.